Thank you to our sponsors today, TIY Hair Ties. My favorite hair ties from when I played on the court. They kept my ponytail up all game long, didn't budge, and the hair ties do not break because of the flexibility. You can tie them yourself. Pick the strength that you want for your hair tie. All of your favorite athletes are wearing them on the court, on the field, and basically anywhere you can think of. And Tricia and I have them in today.
We do. I'm not an athlete, but I enjoy them.
I picked the red color for today. They have many different styles. Go to TIYproducts.com and use the code Sideline for 10% off your order.
Welcome to another episode of Sideline Stories. I'm Tricia Whitaker.
And I'm Sydney Parrish.
And we are coming to you with a very special episode. We have one of my closest, dearest friends and someone who I respect most in the industry joining us. Her name is Lauren Shehadi. You will have seen her on TBS doing sideline reporting for Major League Baseball during the postseason. You will see her hosting during the season on TBS for Major League Baseball. You will see her hosting MLB Central on MLB Network every single morning. You will also see her doing sideline reporting for the NCAA tournament and March Madness every single March. She's amazing.
She's amazing. Loved hearing her stories about basically where she started in the industry to where she is now. But before we get to her, I think we need to talk a little bit about ourselves, the week.
We do.
How we're doing, all that fun stuff. You want to tell everybody about the segment?
Yes, we have a new segment to start every single episode. It's called Life Off the Field. So we're going to answer 5 questions every single week. The first one, Sydney, what was the highlight of your week? Tell us.
The highlight of my week was I went shopping this weekend and found 3 pairs of jeans that fit, not just fit, but that are long enough.
For the guys that don't understand the small victory that was.
I
don't think it was
I had
small.
1 pair of jeans.
Yeah.
In my entire closet. So I found 3 pairs of jeans. They're long enough. They were originally cuffed. So I just uncuffed them.
Right.
So it added like 4 inches to the jean.
Athlete problems.
It was
Tall
amazing.
girl problems.
So now I have 4 pairs of jeans total.
She has 4 pairs of jeans, and that was the highlight of Sydney
It
Parrish's
was amazing.
week.
Well, I don't know if you can top that.
I can.
But, okay.
I can. Yeah, I can
Highlight
top
of your
that.
week.
Yeah. So it was IU beating Oregon, right? I felt like the sports, generational sports trauma left my body in that moment. I mean, it really just, I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders because I felt like that win by IU and Curt Cignetti was a win that was like, yeah, pay attention to us. Like, people were paying attention to IU, but I feel like the big question was, okay, was last year a fluke? Or are they going to prove that they belong again this year? And now people are making arguments for them to be the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah.
Because that was such a good win.
So going into the game, Coach Cignetti said after the game that he had a good feeling about it. For some reason, I had a good feeling that the Hoosiers were going to win.
I did.
I did.
Why?
I was stressed, but I don't know. I always had that when I played. Like, you have a feeling.
Were you right? What was your percentage of when you were right?
I did. Honestly, pretty strong.
You were pretty right.
Sometimes going into games, I'd be like, I don't have a good feeling about this one, and we would lose. I don't know. It's just something.
We could get into a really deep conversation about trusting your gut and intuition and the universe and what it sends you, whether you're universe or God or whatever. Yeah. When you look back at your life and you're like, should have trusted my gut, or I trusted my gut, you're like, oh, something was in the air.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Literally insane.
So you were right.
One thing you're grateful for this week?
You go first because mine's a little deep.
Okay,
mine's a little deep.
Mine's not deep at all.
Okay, good.
It's 77 degrees outside in October. I am so grateful for that because I hate the cold. Being an Indiana kid, I just hate it. So being warm, I can go outside and go for a run, go for a walk, and I'm not freezing yet. But I do like the crisp air in the morning.
Yes.
How it's chilly in the morning, but then right now it's sunny and 77.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna not take that for granted because I know it's gonna be really cold soon.
You know
especially in Chicago.
I'm grateful for that too. That's a really, really good one.
Yeah.
I am grateful for something that's a little bit deeper than that, I think. I'm going to have to say my parents. So we're sitting in my podcast room right now, and this is a new house that I just bought.
Yes.
And it's the first house I ever bought. And my parents have literally, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. And they have held my hand through the entire thing. And this week, I finally got the house, fully put together.
Yeah.
Except for we need a few more things in our podcast room. But, it just, I mean, who else in your life cares that much to like, my mom's like, I brought some plants for you.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and my dad literally was my handyman for like a month. And I'm like, Dad, I should pay you commission. And my dad just like looked at me and he was like, no, you being happy and at peace is enough.
No, that's how my parents were when I moved to Chicago. Even this past weekend, they visited me for the first time and they brought a whole kitchen table and chairs and they were just like carrying it in and I'm just sitting there like, my mom got like new things to hang up on the wall. They hung up a TV. They did like, this whole, I understand that because it's important.
No one's ever going to love us like our parents. Have you ever thought about that? Like,
yes.
It's true. Like, no one is ever going to love us like our parents love us. And you're never going to experience that unconditional love really anywhere else. No matter
it's
who you marry. You're tearing up right now. I'm usually the one who like gets emotional. But you are. And so like, that's what I'm grateful for this week. Like, sometimes life can just like totally take the wind out of you.
Yeah.
And for me, that was this summer.
Yeah.
And
same.
We both went through some
like
crap.
Life changes. Like major life changes. Like I was talking to your class today and I'm like, people don't understand how hard it was for me to just like step away from basketball and be like, oh, you're doing actually that's not your life anymore. You're gonna do something else. It's crazy.
When you have to step away from something you think was going to be your life, whether it's by choice or not by choice, it changes everything about your emotional state, your mental state, and your physical state.
Yeah.
And like, for me, it took my parents to like get me through some of that stuff. Because when you go through things like that, when you're like disappointed about not playing basketball anymore, or when something big happens in your life that just changes out of nowhere, out of the blue, it's the people who literally, like, they don't just say, I'm there for you. They don't just like...
They show it.
They show it. And they don't just take your hand and hold it. They take your hand, they hold it, and they walk through the storm with you. Holding your hand, shouldering the burdens for you. And for me, that's just what my parents have done and my dear close personal friends have done for me all summer long. They didn't have to do that, but they did. And so I'm just grateful for things being revealed about the people in my life that I needed to see. And they're the people that are going to be there until the end. You know?
I love that.
It was deep.
But what keeps you grounded
There
then?
we go. What keeps me grounded?
What keeps you grounded?
Well, my parents. But I think what made me feel grounded this week was going on a walk. I went on a walk and I found a deer. And I just like was standing there and the deer was just like staring at me and it wasn't scared of me. And it was just like this moment where it was like you're connecting with nature and you're just like, why are we like having this moment right now? You're a deer. But I don't know. I love going on walks and seeing wildlife because there's just like there's no like chaos necessarily.
Yeah.
Like there's order in nature and it can seem chaotic, but it's like order. And it's so different than the world that we live in, which is just like go, go, go. And you never have a quiet moment. So I made a point to go on a walk without a podcast on, without music on, without AirPods in. I wasn't even with anybody else. It was just me. And it was so peaceful.
That's so similar to mine being grounded because I made it a point to start like also going on a walk or running and like being outside. Because sometimes when I want to go work out, it's like in a gym, you're still inside. And I like have tried to make the point because it's been so nice outside, like get outside, you're not going to regret it, move your body. And it's like felt amazing. So it's like literally so similar to yours, just like being outside and seeing nature and being in Chicago specifically. Being by the water is just so peaceful.
You know how there's a lot of things you regret in life? I was reading this the other day and they were like, and so, it was like a quote or something. And they were like, have you ever regretted exercising? Have you ever regretted going outside for a walk? I'm like, so in
I've definitely regretted exercising some of the exercises that I've had to do.
Okay, but in the long run,
okay,
do you regret it?
No.
Yeah, that's
never,
what I mean.
Never.
Like,
you always feel good after.
That's what I mean. You don't regret those things.
No.
Like, right? You know, so it's like, sometimes in the moment when we're like, I don't want to go outside and I don't want to move my body.
And
like,
then
I've never regretted moving my body or going outside.
Yeah, no.
It just made me happy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Love Island? No. Okay, never mind.
Sydney, I don't watch things. Like, okay, that could be what you learned. You know what? why don't we do what did I learn about you and what did you learn about me?
Let me mute my phone. Okay. What did you learn about me this week?
I have a good one. Okay. Oh, we're going.
What did you learn about me this week?
This week, I learned that...
Wait, this isn't fair. You literally just sat in a class listening to all this information that I... Okay,
That is correct. So, yeah.
Go.
Okay. You just learned something about me 2 seconds ago. Okay. I learned this week about you. I learned that you are very dedicated to your new craft of broadcasting. So let me tell you why, not that it was surprising to me, but like I teach for a living, right? I teach students that are your age, a little younger, but a lot of the times I don't see students say, I need to rehearse. I need to work at this and go in the studio and just like work and work and work. But you like did that this week. You went into the studio and you like rehearsed how to be a good analyst and how to do it the right way.
Oh, that's so
and
nice.
A lot of times, I'm serious though, a lot of times people don't take the time to just practice and watch themselves and be critical of themselves because they're either scared to or they're not self-aware enough to know that you have to watch film just like you do in sports. But that's probably the athlete in you where you're like, all right, I got to go do this. I got to practice and then I got to watch film. So I learned that you are very dedicated to the discipline of your craft.
Well, I think,
and I always knew that.
Yeah.
But a lot of times,
like I know
I work with a lot of former athletes too on TV, and they think, some of them, that they can just show up and talk. And it's not that easy.
Can't.
It's not that easy though, but they can't either. They need practice, and I just have a respect for that because you are not the type of former athlete who's just gonna walk in and be like, here I am. You remember when I hit some threes? Like, no, you're gonna be like, I'm going to work at this.
Well, I think I can sometimes do that, just walk in and hit some threes, but I can't do that with
what I mean with broadcasting.
No, I do because I know I'm not, like I always tell people, like they're like, I'm so impressed with what you do. I'm like, but I know I'm not that good yet. And I know I'm starting from like ground zero.
And you are good.
Well, thank you.
You are. You know that fine tuning is necessary.
Yes, because I want to be really good.
Yeah.
Because I see how you like are teaching your class and stuff, and like the thing, like that's why I wanted to be able to take your class because I just want to ask questions all the time and get better. But something I learned about you this week is our like you opening your phone and me opening my phone on Instagram or TikTok. You don't have TikTok.
I do. I have TikTok now.
You do. Sorry, my bad. But it's so different. Like the people that you're watching and the people that I'm watching and the things that you watch are so different.
What do I watch?
Well, you don't watch Love Island. You don't know who Jake Shane is.
Not a clue.
Like,
give me more. What else do I not know?
Like, it's just crazy. Like, did you listen to Call Her Daddy's podcast? She's having Kim Kardashian on.
Well, I'll listen to that. I say I will, and I won't do it.
Yeah. No.
I get overwhelmed with too much consumption.
Okay. Yeah, I don't.
So you don't.
I like the pop culture news.
I've noticed that.
I love it.
I deeply think into it too much, and I get overwhelmed with too much consumption. And then I get in my head, and I'm just like, I need to be in the moment. I need to like go on a walk. I need to go see my nieces and nephews, not be consumed. And there's nothing wrong with it though. It's just a different. It's just a different generation and a different thing.
Yeah.
Like I'll sit there and I'll go up on my deck and like draw.
Yeah, I can't do that.
And see, that's different. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's just different.
No. Did you learn something about yourself this week then?
I'm incapable of driving slow.
Have you ever had a ticket?
Oh
how many tickets have you had?
Probably 6 in my life. What? Is it a lot?
That's a lot.
I think I've had 6.
When's the most recent one? This weekend?
No.
Yesterday?
So no, it was this off season. I was driving through Florida and the cop was very kind and she did not, it was awful. You guys,
like how?
I'm going to get.
You've had a few tickets.
Well, I was possibly going 90 and a 35. In my defense, let me explain.
Okay, but you're in Florida.
Let me explain. Okay,
90.
so you know what, So okay, in Florida, when you're going across the state, like from Tampa over to Miami,
Okay.
you're on this like road that's a back road, and the speed limit's like 75 or something.
So when did you hit the 35?
Well, it was unclear. I didn't know. So all of a sudden, the speed changes, and you feel like you're still on the little highway thingy, but you're not, and it's a little town,
Little back road.
and it's a little back road, and so I was still speeding, and she pulls me over, and I'm like, I'm screwed. This is it. This is how I get canceled and go to jail. And so she's like, ma'am, why were you speeding? And I just like decided to be honest. I did. I go, you know what? I don't know. I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
I think she actually respected that. And she was like, okay, hold on. So she went back to her police car. Then she came back and she goes, you're going 90 in a 35. And I was like, it changed really quickly. And I just like didn't pay attention. And she was like, did you know that you would have to go to court for that? And I was like,
in Florida too.
I assume, yes, that would probably be considered reckless driving. And she was like, slow down. I realize you didn't know the speed limit changed so quickly. So you probably wouldn't have been going that fast if you knew. And I was like, nope, sure wouldn't have. And she was like, have a good day. See you later. And I was like,
lucky you.
I know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Awful. There we go. That's what I learned. Okay. What did you learn about yourself?
Thinking about this, I feel like this week we talked a lot about I was listening to people or listening to myself about like manifestation.
Ooh,
I
we have gotten like
manifest-
so deep and like
No, this is so good.
I love it. Do it.
Because it's not really that deep, but like I manifested a year ago or whenever it was in your class. I said my dream NIL deal was a Starbucks brand deal. Well, I got that.
Cue the video because it's on camera.
Well, I got that Starbucks brand deal. That was great. But then Angel Reese announced that she is going to be in the Victoria's Secret fashion show tomorrow. And she's the first professional athlete to be in the Victoria's Secret Angels fashion show. And a year ago, during the fashion show, she posted something like she was in New York City and like the big billboard advertising it. And it said, I will be a Victoria's Secret Angel one day.
Wow. Around the same time you
later,
said that you were going to get a Starbucks deal.
I know. A year later, she is walking the runway tomorrow. And I cannot wait to see her walk the runway because I know they're going to put like these giant wings on her because she's an angel. Well, she's literally Angel Reese. Yeah. And it's just so cool.
What's your level of belief in manifestation?
I definitely believe in it. I don't know how much more I could say. I think it's
how do you
really
manifest
important.
things?
I just say shit all the time to make
happens?
sure it happens. But like, isn't that
I've said a lot of things I want and they haven't happened yet, Sydney. So if you could say my things, that would be great.
I'll try. But
that's not true. I believe in manifesting too.
Yeah, so I just think it's just really cool.
But do you think you say it and then you make it happen? Or do you think you say it and God in the universe or whoever it is like, all right, we hear you?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
But like the Starbucks thing, like that was just kind of like God, the universe, whoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you manifested that one.
Yeah,
Hardcore.
I think I manifested that one.
Hardcore.
Because I didn't try really hard to. It's not like I was reaching out to anybody but yeah.
All right, favorite sports moment that made you smile or get the chills this week?
Indiana.
She's so excited about this.
Indiana beating Oregon in football. Because I always said when I transferred from Oregon, I was always going to be an Oregon football fan because IU was so bad.
Yeah.
So I always was like, oh, don't worry, I'm always going to be an Oregon football fan. Like,
not anymore.
And then IU's so good, they go to Autzen Stadium, they beat Oregon. It's like, I don't even know. It just made me smile. I was on...
Did you cry?
No, but I was standing on the couch.
You posted like a TikTok or something,
I posted
right?
a picture because I was just like in awe because I'm like, Indiana's just beat Oregon in Autzen Stadium. And you know what's crazy? It never rains in Autzen Stadium, and it rained that day.
It never rains? I thought it rained all the time in Oregon.
But the saying is it never rains in Autzen Stadium.
Oh, wow. And
it rained. It rained, right? Oh, it never rained. I thought it was rainy
It
there.
looks rainy. It looks foggy.
I was there. It didn't rain.
Well, now were you there the whole time? Yeah, he was there the whole
But
time.
it never rains in Autzen Stadium.
It was like a light sprinkle at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, well, okay, that counts. It counts.
When I saw that it was supposed to rain that day, I knew. I was like, this is good for the Hoosiers because it never rains in Autzen Stadium. So that's what I was thinking.
manifested,
That's what I was
IU's win.
thinking. I was like, thank you. That's what I was thinking the whole time.
Speaking of manifesting, Sydney Parrish manifested that win. You're welcome, Hoosier Nation. It did feel like generational sports trauma leaving your body, though. So maybe, what's that movie? The Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff and Chad Michael Murray, and it starts to rain and everything changes.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Wait, can I say another good sports
Please
moment
do.
for the week? So this is who I was trying to explain to you earlier. Brett Chody. She's fabulous. She's an influencer. She was supposed to be a runner at USC, ended up not running anymore, but she
Sydney
runs
brings
marathons.
up like 5 people a day I've never heard of.
Right. So she runs marathons now, and she was training for the Chicago Marathon, and she didn't run the race that she wanted to. At mile 17, she had like a horrible stomach ache, horrible stomach cramps, and basically ran the last 10 miles, which is ridiculous. And she was so beat up about herself, about not running the race she wanted.
Yeah.
And it was I don't know, it was so cool seeing that she's human.
Yeah.
That she finished the race, all 26 miles, but it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
And it's her first 16 miles, she was holding a 6:30 pace, which is the most ridiculous thing ever. And then she didn't run the second half of the race how she wanted, but it's she was human. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And it was cool seeing how many people were supporting her through it.
Well, I mean, you do see that happen with athletes a lot in those big moments sometimes, and it makes the rest of us feel more normal with self-criticism. Like that happened with baseball.
You know
It
baseball
happened
better than me.
with the Phillies pitcher. He went in and he forgot how many outs there were, and he threw home, and it was an error, and the Dodgers won and advanced.
I was watching that. I don't understand baseball as well as you do.
So
but I noticed.
I guess I'm not sure what was going through his head, but everybody was saying that he forgot how many outs there were, and he threw home when he should have thrown to first. And the Dodgers scored. They walked it off, and they won, and they advanced, and the Phillies were ousted. And I think a lot of what I saw from that moment was us as a society realizing that you can't be super hard on athletes like normally you would, like they would have been a decade ago. So athletes nowadays with those moments, they get death threats, they get all sorts of things. But you saw all sorts of people coming to social media and being chill out. Leave him alone. This moment's not going to define him. He's a really good pitcher. Don't go after this guy's mental health. And I thought that was a really just monumental moment of our sports culture.
Yeah.
Is that we're hey.
It's growing.
Yeah.
It's
we're growing
finally.
up. We're growing up. We're growing up. Yeah. Those were the 2 moments, I guess.
Oh.
You know who's seen a lot of those moments, though? Don't you love my transitions
I
every
love
week
them.
to our
I
guest? Who's seen a lot of amazing sports moments, ones that have given her chills, I'm sure, ones that she has absolutely nailed because she's one of the best sideline reporters and hosts we have ever seen. That would be our dear friend, Lauren Shehadi, who is our guest this week on Sideline Stories. All right, we are joined now by potentially my favorite guest that we're probably ever going to have on this show, Sydney Parrish. And that is my dear, dear friend, Lauren Shehadi, one of the absolute best to ever do it. Host of MLB Central on MLB Network. She is the sideline field reporter for MLB on TBS and in-studio host for MLB on TBS. And we will see her during the postseason. She's going to be in Philadelphia with the Phillies. Lauren, hi, how are you?
Oh my gosh, what an intro. Hi, Tricia. Hi, Sydney. Thrilled to be with you. I'm going to stay here forever. I'm just going to play that back.
We love it. We love it. We love it. Okay, Lauren, first of all, before we get into, you have the coolest broadcasting journey I feel like I have heard, because whenever I have you guest speak to my students, they love hearing from you because they relate to you so much. You started from the ground and worked your way up, and that is inspiring to them. But before we get to that, I want to start with the playoff series that you get. Does it get better, Lauren Shehadi, than Philadelphia?
It
The
doesn't,
postseason.
but you know this, you've been there and you've covered games there, Tricia. Sydney, I've never been there. I've never, as a fan, I remember Nick Castellanos a couple of years where he made that catch in the first inning and I was running, I had 2 hot dogs. Who do I think I am? And I was sprinting to see it and the ground was shaking. And I was thinking all of this, I want to be wherever this is, but I've never covered a game there. This will be my first game ever at the bank. So I am beyond excited.
Is there something you're specifically looking forward to?
Oh my gosh, and Tricia, you could totally relate to this. When the announcer throws down to you right your first hit, it's like it's out of body. It's equal parts. I want to just barf. And this is the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. And you just think like, don't say any bad words, smile and talk slow. Sit up straight. My mom's gonna judge my outfit from the she didn't care what I say, and then be thoughtful and talk slow. So yeah, that first moment, once you get through the first hit, I don't know if you feel like this, but you feel like, okay, I've done this for a while, but it's that energy, that vibe. You almost feel like I was telling Mike Lowell, World Series MVP, I was telling it today. I said, I feel like when I'm down there, I feel like a player. And he looked at me like, well, you're not. But you kind of feel like it,
It's a similar emotion. You're right, Lauren. It's literally a combination of like, you're like, I want to throw up, but I'm like so happy that I want to throw up because I'm so excited. It's the weirdest
but don't throw up.
rush. Don't throw up. And Sydney, you probably...
I would say I would argue. I would seriously argue with the same thing. Like before a game, I was less stressed before big games in front of like 20,000 fans than my very first time doing a sideline reporting game. And it was for Indiana softball. And I thought I was, like you said, I thought I was going to throw up. I was so scared. And it's like you're just talking to a camera, but it was the most nerve-wracking experience ever. And it hasn't gotten easier for me yet, but hopefully I can get to your guys' level and it gets a little more easy.
I feel like I black out every time. And I have my little cheat pad just in case I just forget how to speak. In case I forget how to speak, I've got some notes.
You've never in your life forgotten how to speak
on
air,
me.
Lauren.
Don't jinx me.
Never. Okay, but it's also funny. Lauren and I are constantly texting in the middle of games too. Like shit. Last year, you were doing it was the year before last year. You were doing the interviews like on the field with the guys after they won, and I'm texting her, and I'm like, she's not going to respond. 5 minutes later, she responded, and she was just like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to throw up, but that was amazing. And I was like, you killed it. I was like, you killed it. So. That's awesome. All right, Lauren, but before you were on the biggest stage covering the MLB playoffs and the World Series and everything, you started from very humble beginnings. And I love that about you. You started in North Dakota. I can't even pronounce the name of the town, Lauren.
Minot. Why not Minot, Sydney? Why not Minot? You ever been there?
I can't say I've ever been to North Dakota.
I got a call. So I sent out 100 VHS tapes, 100 of them. And I had my top 10, and the top 10, I sent a pizza with my VHS tape. And I thought to the newsroom, and I thought someone's got to watch it. If you send them a pizza, like they feel obligated to watch it. I got one call back out of the 100. Each VHS tape was, by the way, it was expensive. It was $7 per VHS tape. I'm thinking I'm in this. Not a call back except for one. And I saw the area code and I did not answer it. And I Googled the area code and sure enough, it said Minot. And I thought, oh my God, it was just so unknown, right? I'm a DC girl, DMV. And I thought, oh my gosh. The news director's name is Jim Olson. One of my best friends said, you're going to move here if you'd like. We've got a job. It's $9,000 a year. It's, you can drive your car into Saskatchewan, Canada and shoot JV ice hockey. And I was like, well, I want to be on ESPN. But, at the time, you're thinking, okay, all right, this is the way it goes. And I'm so grateful. Best people I've ever met. Training ground to succeed and also fail, which is so important. And they taught me everything I know. And they are just some of my best friends to this day. So you're able to mess up and people are forgiving and they love you as one of their own. And from there, it was just a really cool learning ground to kind of make my way up,
That's unbelievable. You say you went from like a bigger town to then North Dakota, which is tiny, and you're reporting on all these new sports probably that you're not used to, a new area. Is there anything that somebody told you that you've taken from that experience to where you are today?
It's so funny you say that because I told you my news director, Jim Olson, he would be on the Today Show if he wanted to leave North Dakota. He's that talented. There's so many people in local news, and you guys know this, that stay there because their families are there, right? But it does not reflect the talent. He is the most. He's supremely talented. And he said to me, I said, I'm so nervous. It's still what we're talking about today. I remember my first word on the air. They were counting down 5, 4, 3, and I go, I gotta pee. And my first word ever on the air was pee. I'm like, I'm never gonna make this. I'm never gonna make it. And Jim said, you have to appear like a duck. I said, huh? He said, calm on the surface, struggling like hell underneath. Appear like a duck. No matter how many people are talking at your ear, no matter how much the chaos grows, you smile brighter and you calm it down. You slow down the moment. It's like ball players, right? Trish, we talk to them all the time. Sydney, you know, you are one. You know, you have to slow down that moment, and it's who does it the best, who succeeds. It's no different with broadcasting.
I love that duck analogy. Okay, so give us maybe the time that you felt it was the most chaotic when you were on air, whether it's at the local news level or whether it's in the clubhouse during a celebration, or you're on the field, you're trying to find Nick Castellanos after a walk-off or whatever it is. What's the most chaotic moment?
You know, chaotic maybe. I always use this example, but it's my David Price example. I've told you this story. It's me not listening in an interview. You know, I think the biggest challenge, and I tell all the young girls this who ask for advice, I say you have to listen. And they say, oh, yeah, I got this. I said, oh, yeah? Just wait till there's, 10 million people watching. It's Red Sox Yankees. Then you have to listen and then not have dead air. It's harder than you think. Trisha's might be the best at it. Tricia, my friend Meredith, very, very good at it. But I always feel like I want to have no dead air. So I want to have my next question ready. But if you don't listen. So anyways, long story short, he was saying he did something in the bullpen that helped with his start. And I blew past it. And I was like, what do you think about your defense? You have to ask, what was it? Right? I missed it. I think about it all the time, especially when I'm going into the postseason. You have to listen in life and in broadcasting.
That's so interesting. Amazing. The first time I had my first interview, I had every single question listed on a piece of paper. And then I got to it was like a post game, and I got after 2, I'm like, wait, I have no idea what number, what I'm even talking about. I have no idea what I'm even asking. I don't the coach was probably thinking to herself, we're talking about the softball game. This is a huge game that just happened, and you're asking about these random questions. So it's interesting to hear you talk about your mistakes early in your career and how you adjusted them throughout, because I think I'm in that situation right now, trying to learn from my mistakes and grow as I go.
Yep. And I think that, and I feel like, Tricia, you should be the one talking about this, because I feel like she's very good at conversation, right? Conversation. But I feel like the best interviews are not 2 separate questions. If we get 2 questions with the managers, you ask one about the pitcher. And I always, to lead into the second one, to be more conversational. I'll give you an example. Instead of, your defense looked really good in the first inning, I'll say, I mean, Skip, your defense out there, Nick Castellanos is out there grabbing balls right and left. It's a more flow, right? It's a little bit different way to talk. And I think that I've learned from you, Tricia, but I've learned from a lot of people. It's not just question. Anybody can ask a question. It has to be a rapport, So that's what we're fighting a good fight.
You say you learned that from me, but I feel like I actually learned that from you, watching you in the NCAA tournament. In some of those moments, I think was it Florida?
Florida, go Gators.
Florida. Yeah, you had a mob of guys around you. Yeah, you did. You had a mob, you posted it on your Instagram, and I show it to my students every year. You had a mob of guys around you, and you interviewed 3 or 4 players in a row, asking each of them a different question while they're surrounding you. But the thing about it is it was conversational, but it flowed because you were just chatting it up with them. It wasn't like you were super structured, and that's what makes what you do so unique, as opposed to some other sideline reporters. When you watch them, you're like, oh my God, that sounds so scripted. But with you, it's how long has she been best friends with this guy?
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's the best compliment. I think what I've been taught and people have taught me is a complete economy of words. If you can get the thought out in 3 words, which you can't, do it. So I think in that interview in the Florida that you're talking about, there was this guy who literally just thrived on the moment. And I was thinking on the sideline, and the clock is ticking down, and basketball, so it goes so fast. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to go out there fast. Baseball, we got 9 innings to think of our questions. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I thought, the bigger the moment. I said something like the bigger the stage, the better you are. How? It was so simple. It was super. It was a simple question, but it was like 2 seconds. And in that moment, it calls for it, right? So I think that's what we're trying to find, right? That the smallest amount of words, economy of words, is the way to go.
I think that's really good in those emotional moments too, because nobody wants to hear us talk. Nobody cares about what we have. We don't matter in that moment. Our job in that moment is just to be like, give me the best answer you could possibly think of, even though half of your oxygen has left your body because you just played a game and you just won the game on a like buzzer beater or whatever the hell it is. So
yeah, yep.
I love that
Lauren,
advice.
you talked a lot about also like learning things from other people and taking criticism from people. Is there anybody who, when you were growing up, when you were younger, that you really looked up to in the broadcasting world or in the sports media world that you really just kind of tried to not model yourself after, but look up to?
Yeah, there was this girl named Robin Mead on CNN Headline News, and I always loved her because you could not tell she was on air. You couldn't tell. She was so warm. I think I'm constantly searching for the warmth because that's what I gravitate towards. I want to know that you're a good person. So I watch those people on TV, right? I want to watch the people who I think are kind. And she would just, good morning. I could not sleep last night. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, is she talking to me? Does she know she's on camera? You know what I mean? She was so warm and authentic. And so I always wanted to be like her. I gravitated towards her way.
With Tricia's accent, I think that she thinks that you're pretty warm on camera.
Yeah. You are always warm on camera.
Thanks.
You are. She can make anybody feel comfortable on camera. If you watch her on MLB Central every single morning, first of all, her and her co-host, they just like vibe. It's like perfect. But when she interviews somebody, it's like you immediately can tell how comfortable they are with her because of how warm she makes them feel. Mm-hmm. And that is such a difficult thing to teach. I remember one of my news directors who hired me in Green Bay, he would always say, you cannot teach talent on air. It's very hard. Like you cannot teach somebody to necessarily be warm. It has to be part of their personality.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's part of Lauren's personality. So I love that. All right, Lauren, to wrap up this conversation, which has been amazing, we're going to do a little rapid fire with you. Are you ready?
I'm nervous.
No, you're not. You
stay on time. It's October. Lock in. Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Lock in. All right, we're going to ping pong. I'll ask you a question, then Sydney will ask you a question. All right, we ready? Rapid fire with Lauren Shehadi. Let's go. All right, first question. No, don't be. Best interview or soundbite you've ever had?
Best interview ever was with Jim Nance because he acts like he cares that you're giving the interview, and that I felt like that's how people succeed. That's why he's so successful. Because I remember he said, Lauren, oh my gosh, it's so nice to talk to you. I've been waiting to talk to you all day. I'm like, no, you haven't. What I learned from him, I'm like, that's why he's so successful. He treats everyone well.
Next question. Favorite or most impactful moment in sports you've ever covered?
Handing out the trophy every year at the end of the championship series. It is the dream of a lifetime to have these players there with their families. 162 is a grind. You are there in February, and to hand that to them in October, tell them they're going to the World Series. It's just a moment in time.
That's probably one of those moments where you feel like you're going to throw up, but you're so excited at the same time, right?
Exactly. So excited. Nothing like it.
MLB playoffs or NCAA tournament? Which one?
Oh, both.
You cover
Don't
both?
make me choose.
No.
Don't make me choose. I know baseball. That's my life, right? That's what I love. But NCAA tournament is the most challenging. It's madness for broadcasters too.
It is absolute madness.
Say it again.
Why do you think it's why is it madness for
broadcasters? I'll tell you why. Because half the teams, you do not know them. You don't know their players at all. That's every broadcaster. So that at the end of the game, you go to grab them. They say, grab 3 players. You're like, I don't really know that I'm grabbing. You know what I mean? You have to make sure it's so fast. There's 4 games. You got to make sure everything's right. You know, you just met this player. It's not like when you cover baseball and you know them for 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Most starstruck you've ever been on the job?
Yes, we were in a softball game and Mariano Rivera was on my team. And so we go and I'm with like all these ex-Yankees, and they said, Lauren, what position do you want to play? And I'm thinking, any position where I'm not playing. Like, that's what I want to play. So I said, can I play first? That's what I played. I played softball. I played first. And he looks at me and he goes, that's my position.
I would have said, you have it. You have it.
Mo, you got it. What am I going to play? Shortstop? Like, what am I going to play? But I was completely starstruck. And my mom was watching this game to this day. She goes, honey, does he hit the ball really hard? I thought, oh, God, please,
Oh,
Mom,
God.
please don't say that loud.
Oh, God. That is the
That's
best story I've
hilarious.
ever heard about a softball game. Oh, man, that's great. All right, favorite stadium and atmosphere.
Ooh, you know what? I mean, it's hard to pick against Fenway or the north side of Chicago. But I'm going to the bank, so we'll see. TBD.
The Bank, north side of Chicago, and Fenway. Those are some of the
Those are
best
three?
atmospheres.
Okay.
Those are the best.
Is there a game or moment that still gives you goosebumps to this day?
Yeah. Your Tampa Bay Rays, Mike Brasso, 101 from Aroldis Chapman to the head, and then he took him deep in the CS?
DS.
The DS, and he was an angel on earth. And I asked him about it after that, like about revenge. And you could have heard a pin drop. It was during the pandemic. It was in the bubble. There was not a person in the stands. And this guy, after Aroldis Chapman had buzzed him at the head at 101, just took him deep. It was a moment. He will think about that when he's 100 years old. And so
As he should. As so will I. And a lot of Indiana will too, because he's a Northern Indiana kid. And he took Aroldis Chapman deep after earlier in the season, Aroldis Chapman threw a 101 mile per hour fastball at his head and could have killed him. So yeah, benches cleared. Then he got his revenge in the postseason. I loved watching you do that interview, Lauren. I loved it. I still get goosebumps. Anyways, all right. So, sideline essential that you cannot live without.
lip gloss, a mirror, and trail mix.
Nail mix. I love it.
In that order. Because you forget. Half the time I'm like, have I eaten in a week? I don't even remember eating. And you need a little sugar and a little salt.
What's in it? What do you put in your trail mix?
Just peanuts and raisins and more M&Ms. It's M&Ms with one raisin. It's M&Ms, one raisin, one peanut.
So her sideline
Straight to the base.
This is more specific, but does your lip combo change game to game?
Oh, that's a good question. I love where you're at. Yeah, it does. Just whatever I'm feeling. If I'm feeling a little, but I will not do a red lip.
Okay.
I have learned. I tried that, and then it didn't work so much. So I'm more of a mellow lip kind of gal.
What kind of lip are you wearing right now? It looks red.
No, don't you bite your
that's
tongue.
not red.
What is it? Pink?
It's fabulous.
It's mauve, if you will.
Mauve. It's mauve. All right.
But I also have a mini Listerine on the sideline with me and a cup. So I'm constantly one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 for every interview, gum, the whole nine. I'm brushing my teeth in the
You're
fort.
shooting Listerine shots in the camera well by the dugout before you go interview?
Yeah, get to know me, girl.
I do, and I've never heard that. The
Yeah.
Listerine, honey,
I
Listerine
probably
strips.
go through a bottle a game.
We need video of you on the sideline doing
I
this.
can't. I mean, I'm crazy about that too. I'll consume more Altoids than anybody has ever seen.
Because you're in their face.
You're in their face. Yeah.
I want my questions to be good, but I want my breath to be good more.
No, yeah, exactly. And you want to smell good because everybody around you generally smells bad, and I don't want to be associated with that. I don't want to go up to interview like Juan Soto, and he'll be like, "Oh my God, the Apple TV reporter does not smell good," and I'm like, "No, that's the guys in the dugout." It's a spray of perfume and an Altoid right before you go interview them. That's my routine.
We're journalists.
What is your biggest on-air blooper?
I said
Besides,
pee first
Yeah,
word.
that was it.
I mean, isn't that bad enough for you? No, not.
And that was your very first time on air?
I said a few. I've said a few things that I would like back that I didn't mean to say. It's just mispronounced.
She doesn't have bloopers, is what she's trying to say. Lauren Shehadi doesn't have bloopers except for saying pee on air, and we want to see. Is there video evidence of the pee moment?
Ooh, I could check. I have my first broadcast. Maybe I'll check it out.
I think we're gonna need to see that. All right, last two questions. If you weren't in sports broadcasting, what would you be doing?
A
Lauren?
dermatologist.
Oh my God, why does that not surprise me?
And
We
pop
could
all
do-
your pimples. Well, you have none, but I would do it.
Neither do you. We could do a whole hour-long podcast about skincare because she's the queen. The absolute
I'm
queen.
obsessed. Sydney, I'm
Yeah,
obsessed.
Sid, we
I
gotta
need
put
your
you on the.
skincare routine.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Do it. Give it
Please.
to us.
Yeah,
That's
I got you,
amazing.
girl.
And then-
I'll give you one secret. She got me onto this. It's cold pressed castor oil, right? She
I've heard.
is. How old are she? You look like you're 22 years old.
Oh my
She
gosh,
uses
well, I
castor
am.
oil. Yeah, you are. Sorry, she is 22 years old. Never reveal a broadcaster's age, right? She uses castor oil, Sydney. That's the secret. All right, go. Sid, go.
Using it. Dream guest you'd love to interview.
Oh, dream guest I'd love to interview. Willie Mays.
Ooh, that's
That would have been. That would have been. That would have been.
Yes.
Treated
yes.
everyone kindly. I always heard the best things about him. Was playing the game at the highest level in a difficult time. Probably has stories about everyone, and nobody who ever knew him said a bad word. That would probably be the one.
You would be so good at that interview too. You would be amazing at it. Lauren Shehadi, we cannot wait to watch you on the sidelines for the MLB postseason. Good luck in Philly. We love you so much.
Thank you guys for the time. This was an absolute blast. Thanks for having me.